The M1921 and M1928 Thompsons were things of beauty. Blued steel, fins, they could take drums, all sorts of things you don't need when you just need a submachine gun in a hurry. And that gun was the M1A1 Thompson.
The M1A1 Thompson submachine gun was really a simplification of the earlier Tommy gun, which had been developed by General John Thompson during the latter stages of World War I.
John T. Thompson's whole idea of his full automatic submachine gun in .45 caliber was to have something that was kind of a delayed blowback. And so John Blish designed a block of bronze and steel that interlocked that allowed the bolt just a split-second delay as the friction between those two types of metal dropped the block and allowed the action to cycle. And that was the key to the success, or so it was thought, of the Thompson. Interesting thing is that when you take that Blish block out of a gun, they work just fine.
During World War II production, Thompsons were being manufactured by Auto Ordnance Corporation and Savage. Now, designers at Savage recognized immediately that there were certain aspects of the Thompson design that could be eliminated to produce the firearm at a far more affordable price. In addition to being more affordable, they could also produce the firearm far more quickly. And so what they produced was a Thompson submachine gun without cuts compensator, without cooling fins, without a Lyman rear sight, with a phosphate finish that's cheap and easy to put on in comparison to the deep blue finish, that no longer accepts the drum magazines but accepts box magazines only. They also found that the Thompson submachine gun ran just fine without the Blish lock. Savage Arms Corporation comes up with this prototype that is ultimately adopted into the American military under the designation first M1, then M1A, then M1A1. And the M1A1 Thompson submachine gun sees service through to the end. It's really easy to pick one out if you're trying to identify what's a 28 Thompson and what's an M1A1 Thompson. On the M1928A1 Thompson submachine gun, the bolt handle is on top of the receiver. On the M1A1 Thompson submachine gun, it's on the side of the receiver.
The M1A1 was issued to mainly scouts, vehicle drivers, anyone who needed a lot of firepower and was not armed with a regular rifle, but needed firepower quickly and more so than you'd get with, say, a .30 caliber M1 carbine. They used them throughout the European theater, used them throughout the Pacific.
The M1s and M1A1s were probably made in the largest numbers of any of the Thompson models. And they generally work very well because of the shape of the cartridge and the very long feed throat that is built into the front of the receiver. Once a cartridge comes out of the magazine and sticks its nose in that feed trough, there isn't any place for it to go except into the chamber.
With the M1A1, you predict what's going to be happening in the post-war economy with other firearms, which is to say that manufacturers are really looking for a way to produce them at a lower price point so that the saleability is still there and the broad access to the firearm is still there. Of course, nowadays, when you look at the price of a Thompson, fully transferable Thompson machine gun, none of that matters because they're all fairly expensive. But the M1A1 was a significantly less costly gun to produce than its predecessor.